Well, hello and welcome back to another video here on my channel. Today's video is going to be very different. I'll start from the beginning. Basically, my hard drive crashed. Silly me. I should have done backups and I haven't. So I've lost about 15 YouTube videos that haven't actually gone out. So I'm going to try and recover what I can from other places. Obviously some of it might be lower quality, but I'm going to see what I can do. You know, there were product reviews and yeah, all sorts there. A few places that I went to. So I'm going to try and cram it all in one video. I am going to go through what new equipment and stuff I've bought. Yeah, then we'll take it from there. Well, the first thing I bought is a new bag, which is that one. That's big enough to fit a 600 F4 in there. It's a Vanguard. So yeah, that's the first thing I've bought. I've also got a chest mount that I bought separately from eBay on there. So I'll be putting it on the chest mount, and you'll understand why with the next thing I'm going to show you. I've also bought a DJ, an Action 5 Pro, sorry. So that's going to be useful for my content, because then I can pair my mic up with that. Yeah, it is good though. You can do up to 8K video on that. So yeah, we'll check that out. Now, the next product I've bought, I'm getting to like it. So here it is, a DJI Mini 4K. It's a nice little drone, that. So yeah, I mean, I've been to a few places with it. Not anywhere exciting, just, you know, my parents' housing estate, my housing estate. But yeah, I'm looking at doing some good videos with that. I have got videos of that I've sent to people, so I'm going to have to get that from my WhatsApp or somewhere, and the only trouble is it's compressed video, so not going to be the best of quality. You'll be able to tell which ones are from WhatsApp and which ones I've filmed straight from the drone, just because it goes weird because of the compression on what WhatsApp do to it. So yeah, I've also bought a EF to RF adapter so I can use EF lenses, which I did use in 400 f2.8, which is my mate's. I used that a few days back. Photographed loads of cranes. The video I've lost, but what I will do is I'll put some photos of the cranes in this video somewhere, so you can enjoy the photos of the cranes with the chicks, the common crane. I've also bought a RF 1.4 teleconverter. So yeah, I'm getting quite a bit of reach on the camera now. The R7 there, which now fits in that bag with the hood on. So yeah, it's going to be a bit of a weird video, but at the end of the day, it's content for my YouTube account. And better videos will be coming soon. Got a trip booked to Bempton Cliffs soon. So I'll be going to Bempton Cliffs, North Landing, Flamborough Head, and I think it's Filey Brig, something like that. Yeah, I'll be going to them places, so I'll be checking them out. So there'll be plenty of content coming from there. But for now, enjoy the content that I do manage to obviously get after filming this, and data I've managed to recover from other places. So yeah, please press the thumbs up, like, share and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. And don't be a silly Billy like me, and always back your data up. Bye bye for now. Right, I've now connected the drone and set it up. I'm going to have a little flight around my old ground where I used to live. Just a quick flight, see what the tower looks like from above. Got to be careful in this area because there's a lot of grumpy crows around here. So I don't want any birds attacking the drone really. I've only had the drone a couple of weeks, but I've had a few birds trying to attack the drone already. So yeah, just got to be careful. Going to do a quick flight now, so I'm going to switch the drone controller on, and then I'll be back. Just angle the camera. Sorry about my shadow on the screen, but
home point updated.
make sure it's in. I think someone else has actually got a drone up because I can hear it. See, I used to live, if I do a 2x zoom, in them flats just in between the trees there. Them flats just there. So as I say, it's going to be a quick flight. I can only do 2x zoom on 4K, so that's what Stevenage looks like, 81 metres up. So yeah, as I say, it was only a quick flight, so I'm now going to press the return to home button and get the drone back.
Return to home.
Oh, I can see it. I've been a bit naughty really, because I should have put my glasses on, but...
Landing.
There's me. there's me. Right, so that was a little quick drone flight. As you would have already seen, I'll overlay it. Not in this particular video, but other drone videos, you would have probably already seen it, but yeah, it was blurred. Just because, like, when I was at my parents' house, my parents don't want to be in my YouTube video, so and obviously my dad's number plate and stuff like that. But yeah, I shall catch you guys in the next one. Bye bye for now.